As you saw in the program, David was a 9-time conference champion in track and field. Still holds several school records in track and field. Was a conference champion in cross country. What's not in the program, when he was a senior for the indoor season, he was named the NCAA Midwest Region Student of the Student Athlete of the Year. So, and the Midwest consists of Wisconsin, Illinois, and Missouri. So that was an amazing year for David and an amazing accomplishment. These are not easy things to be a 10-time conference champion. I guess the person that could best relate to this would be Coach Call, who also coached track and field for a few years. And to be a conference champion once is amazing. To be a conference champion 10 times. And as I kind of went through all of this, I thought, wow, what was the best feat that David accomplished? Was it 1442 indoors in the 5K, running on a very poor track where it was in an enlarged field, and I can to this day see him weaving in and out of people, and he qualified for the national meet at that particular time? Or was it his senior year where he won 3 conference indoor championships, qualified for the nationals indoors, and was named the Midwest Region Athlete of the Year, as I previously mentioned? Was it that he was in the national meet, he ran 3 times in the national meet? Or was it winning the conference championship in cross country? There's 130 runners, there's only one winner. And for me, I think the most amazing feat for David was winning the conference championship in cross country when he was a senior. I did 2 things for Dave Billings, all right? Number 1, I got him to come to Ripon College. And in part, I had help there because his older brother Dan ran for me here for 4 years. The second thing I did for Dave is I provided him structure in terms of his running experience. But please know, everything that he accomplished here at Ripon College was because he had an amazing high school coach. He had an amazing family, his father, Dan, mother, Deb, and an awesome brother, Dan, who was an incredible role model for him. And his work ethic, for me, some people, they think that you have to be in, sports maybe that are, physical, if you will, okay? His toughness. He ran 100 miles a week his entire summer between his sophomore and junior and senior years. There were times he had in the pads of his feet holes big enough you could put $50 in them. I remember one time after a race, I looked down and it was somewhat regular where he would lose a toenail, his big toenail would go, and I looked down and his entire shoe was red from the blood that came through his sock and through his shoe. Incredible toughness. Several things I just want to mention real quickly to let you know something about Dave Billings. He's a freshman. He's running the 10K at the conference championship. And the thing about track is you got to do it on that day. Okay? You don't have a whole season to do it. You have to do it on that day. If you're a distance runner, you can never be sick. All right? For those people in here that are science people, you always have to be healthy that particular day. As a freshman, he's running the 10K. It's in the 90s. When we were down south, it was either at Brunel or Monmouth. It's in the 90s. He's a freshman and he's in second place. There's 40 meters to go. And the boy in front of him, because of the heat exhaustion took over, the boy fell down. David stopped, tried to pick him up, and get him to the finish line so that the boy could win the race. He could not physically pick the boy up, so David continued on, and he won the 10K. But he was more concerned about the young man that fell than he was about himself. When I said I did two things for David, one, recruiting him to come to Ripon College, because he was a very good high school athlete, and other schools in the Midwest Conference were also recruiting him. Now he's a senior running in the cross-country championships, and he's winning the race. There's 100 meters to go, and the boy that's in second place is that young man that he tried to help up 3 years prior, all right? There was a coach in our conference who was recruiting David very heavily, and he came to Ripon. And Mr. and Mrs. Billings will verify this, that at 100 meters to go, that coach, a rival coach in our conference, was cheering for the second place Grinnell runner to beat David, because David came to Ripon and not to his college. We will remember that forever and ever and ever. And anyways, to summarize, commitment, dedication, intensity, competition, these all are what David Billings represents. What an amazing young man, an amazing person, and he made me such a better coach. People, you don't get into the Hall of Fame unless you coach people like this. All right, David.
Thank Coach for those generous and kind words. I'm not much of a talker, so it's going to be quick. Yeah, I'd like to congratulate all the other fellow Hall of Fame inductees. It's a huge honor. And all the other award winners, too. I want to thank the committee at Ripon College for acknowledging my accomplishments and the performance over my career. I'm very honored to be a part of the history of Ripon athletics going forward. It wasn't just a choice to come to Ripon College.